If you've ever sneezed and felt something you weren't expecting, if you've ever rushed to the bathroom and didn't quite make it, if you've ever quietly changed your plans, avoided a long drive, skipped a yoga class, or started carrying extra underwear in your bag without telling anyone why, then I need you to stay right here. Because what I'm about to share in the next few minutes could completely change how you understand what's happening inside your body right now. My name is Dr. Eleanor Whitaker. I've spent over 2 decades working with women who came to me exhausted, frustrated, and quietly ashamed of symptoms they didn't fully understand. And one of the most common things I hear over and over from women between the ages of 38 and 58 is this: "I thought it was just me getting older." That sentence breaks my heart every time, because what they're describing isn't aging. It's not weakness. It's not something to be embarrassed about. It is your body sending you a very specific, very important signal. And today I'm going to help you finally hear it. We're going to talk about 7 hidden signs that millions of women are experiencing right now without realizing they're all connected. Signs that are routinely dismissed by doctors, minimized by partners, and silently suffered by women who have been told or who have convinced themselves that this is simply what getting older feels like. It isn't. And by the end of this video, you will understand exactly why your body is doing what it's doing and what that means for everything: your energy, your weight, your sleep, your mood, and yes, your bladder. But before we get to all 7 signs, I need to start with the one that almost no one talks about. The one that causes the most silent suffering. The one that's sitting in the title of this video. And I promise you, there's a reason I chose to start there. Millions of women over 40 experience what's called urinary incontinence. That word, incontinence, already sounds clinical and cold. So let me put it plainly. It means leaking. A little when you laugh. A little when you cough. Sometimes a sudden, overwhelming urge that gives you no warning. And most women who experience this do the same thing. They say nothing. They manage. They adapt. They quietly rearrange their lives around a symptom they've been too embarrassed to name out loud, because somewhere along the way they absorbed the idea that this is just what happens to women of a certain age. But here's what I need you to understand, and this is the piece that almost no one tells you. Urinary leakage in women over 40 is not primarily a bladder problem. It is a hormonal problem. And once you understand that, everything changes. Estrogen, the hormone your body has been producing since puberty, does something remarkable that most people never think about. It maintains the elasticity, the strength, and the sensitivity of the tissues in your pelvic floor. It supports the urethra. It regulates the signals your bladder sends to your brain. When estrogen begins to decline, and it begins declining in most women well before menopause, often starting in your late 30s, those tissues begin to change. They become thinner, less responsive, less able to hold under pressure. And suddenly, a sneeze becomes a problem. A long meeting becomes a problem. A trampoline with your grandchildren becomes something you avoid. This is not weakness. This is biology. And what's even more important is this: urinary incontinence is almost never the only sign your hormones are shifting. It almost always arrives alongside 6 other signals. Signals that, when you see them together, tell a very clear story about what's happening inside your body. And that story, once you understand it, is not frightening. It's actually the beginning of taking your power back. So stay with me, because we're only at the beginning. Here's the thing about perimenopause, the transition period that can begin years, sometimes a decade, before your last menstrual period. It doesn't announce itself with a single dramatic event. It whispers. It creeps in through the side door. It shows up as fatigue that a full night of sleep doesn't fix. It shows up as 2, 3, 4 pounds that appeared without any change in your diet and refuse to leave no matter what you do. It shows up as a short fuse, a level of irritability you don't recognize in yourself that makes you feel like a stranger in your own body. It shows up as a brain that used to be sharp and now feels like it's working through fog. It shows up as nights where you wake at 3 a.m. for no reason and lie there, heart quietly racing, unable to drift back. And here's what I need you to hear. All of these things, the fatigue, the weight, the mood shifts, the brain fog, the sleep disruption, the incontinence, are not separate, unrelated problems. They are different expressions of the same underlying shift. They are your hormones changing, and they are messages. Your body is not failing you. It is communicating with you. The question is whether you're going to listen. Let me walk you through the 7 signs, not as a checklist, but as a map of what's actually happening beneath the surface. The first sign, which we've already begun to discuss, is bladder changes, leaking, urgency, increased frequency, especially at night. This is one of the earliest and most overlooked signs of estrogen decline. Women are told to do Kegel exercises. Sometimes that helps, but the root cause, the hormonal depletion affecting pelvic tissue, is almost never addressed. And when the root cause isn't addressed, the symptoms don't resolve. They progress. The second sign is disrupted sleep. Not just difficulty falling asleep, but waking in the middle of the night, often between 2 and 4 a.m., and being unable to return to sleep. This happens because progesterone, another key hormone that begins declining in perimenopause, has a natural calming, sleep-promoting effect on the brain. When progesterone drops, sleep architecture changes. Your brain loses one of its natural signals for deep, restorative rest. Many women spend years on sleep aids, melatonin, herbal teas, without ever addressing the hormonal root of why they stop sleeping well. The third sign is unexplained weight gain, specifically around the abdomen. Not the hips, not the thighs, the belly. This is one of the most distressing signs for women who have maintained healthy lifestyles for years. Suddenly the rules have changed. The same foods, the same exercise, and the scale keeps creeping. This happens because declining estrogen affects how your body stores and metabolizes fat. It also affects insulin sensitivity, meaning your body becomes less efficient at processing carbohydrates. This is not a willpower problem. This is a chemistry problem. The fourth sign is mood instability, irritability, anxiety, a low-grade sadness that arrives without a clear reason. Women often blame themselves, their relationships, their circumstances, their attitude. But estrogen has a direct effect on serotonin and dopamine, the neurotransmitters responsible for emotional regulation. When estrogen fluctuates, so does your emotional baseline. It's not in your head, it's in your hormones. The fifth sign is cognitive changes, what many women describe as brain fog. Forgetting words mid-sentence, walking into a room and not knowing why, struggling to focus during tasks that used to feel effortless. The brain is loaded with estrogen receptors. Cognition, memory, and mental clarity are all influenced by hormonal balance. When that balance shifts, the brain notices. The sixth sign is fatigue, a specific kind of fatigue that sleep doesn't fix. You wake from 8 hours and feel like you barely rested. Your body feels heavy. Your motivation is low. This connects to multiple hormonal systems, not just estrogen and progesterone, but cortisol, thyroid function, and blood sugar regulation, all of which are influenced by and intertwined with the hormonal shifts of perimenopause. And the seventh sign, one that women are least likely to mention, even to their doctors, is a decrease in libido, a fading of sexual interest, sometimes accompanied by physical discomfort, vaginal dryness, sensitivity changes, intimacy becoming something that feels disconnected from desire. This is not a relationship problem. This is not a sign that you've stopped caring. This is estrogen and testosterone. Yes, women produce testosterone too, declining, and the physical and emotional aspects of sexuality changing as a result. 7 signs, all connected, all pointing back to the same root. A hormonal shift that is natural, but that does not have to be silently endured. Now, I want to pause here for a moment. Because if you've been nodding along, if you've recognized yourself in 3 or 4 or 5 of these signs, I want you to take a breath. What you're feeling isn't proof that something is irreparably wrong. It's proof that your body is doing exactly what it's supposed to do at this stage of life. But natural does not mean untreatable. And it does not mean you simply have to accept a diminished quality of life and call it aging. This is where I want to share something important with you. Over the years, I've seen what happens when women get the right support for hormonal balance. Real, meaningful support that works with the body's own systems rather than overriding them. The difference is profound. Sleep improves. Weight becomes more manageable. Mood stabilizes. Brain fog lifts. Energy returns. And yes, bladder control often improves significantly when the underlying hormonal depletion is addressed. There's a link below this video, in the description and in the first comment, that I want you to look at. It's something that has helped thousands of women in exactly your situation begin to support their body's natural hormonal balance. Not a drug, not a synthetic override. A method that works with your biology, not against it. Women who felt just months ago that they were losing themselves are reporting back that they feel like themselves again. I'm not making promises. Everybody is different, but I am telling you there is information below this video that is worth your time. Please look at it before you close the tab, because here's what I've seen happen when women don't get support. And I tell you this not to frighten you, but because I believe you deserve the truth. Hormonal decline is not a static event. It's a progression. And if the body goes unsupported through that progression, the symptoms that feel manageable today can become significantly more disruptive over time. The occasional bladder leakage that you're laughing off right now can progress to urgency incontinence that limits your freedom. The brain fog that's a nuisance today can deepen in ways that affect your professional life, your confidence, your relationships. The weight that's frustrating now can become increasingly resistant as metabolic function continues to shift. The sleep that's a little broken can become chronically disrupted, and chronic sleep deprivation has documented effects on cardiovascular health, immune function, and mental well-being. I am not telling you this to scare you. I'm telling you because I've watched women wait. Wait until the symptoms became impossible to ignore, wait until the quality of their daily life was significantly diminished, and then spend years trying to recover ground they could have protected years earlier. And I've also watched women who decided, at exactly the stage you're at right now, to take action, to give their bodies real support, to stop accepting this is just aging as a final answer. And those women are different. They are more energetic, more clear-headed, more comfortable in their bodies, more present in their lives, not because they fought nature, but because they chose to support it. You are at a crossroads right now. Your body has been speaking to you through the sleepless nights, through the exhaustion, through the extra weight, through the moments in the bathroom, through the moods you don't recognize, through the brain that doesn't feel like yours anymore. It has been speaking to you, and now you understand the language. The question is what you do with that understanding. The link in the description below, and in the first comment, is the next step. It will take you 2 minutes to look at, and it may be the 2 minutes that changes everything. Thousands of women who recognize themselves in exactly what I've described today made that choice. They gave their bodies the support they needed. And they are not the same women they were before. They are better, more themselves, more alive. You deserve that too. Please don't wait until the symptoms demand your attention. Act while your body is still asking gently. Click the link below. Read what's there. Take the next step for yourself. Because you've spent enough time managing. It's time to actually feel well again.